Welcome to the Northwest Rideshare channel, where we give you tips and tricks on how to maximize your earnings driving for both Uber and Lyft. Now today, we're going to be talking about, is it still profitable to drive for rideshare in 2018? And the answer is, well, it actually depends on a lot of things. So it depends. I mean, it absolutely depends. I cannot tell you whether or not it's still profitable in your market. I can tell you in my market, it is very profitable in my opinion. Very, very profitable, because our mileage rate is still over $1.50 per mile. That's huge. I hear every day listening to how, these markets are getting like 40 cents a mile, and I can't understand how you can operate on that. And I can sympathize for like Uber Man and a lot of the other drivers out there that have YouTube channels that in their market the mileage is garbage. In my market though, it is profitable. I drive a 2007 Chevy Suburban, and I have no problem all day long taking X and Lyft rides. I mean, absolutely. And the nice thing is, driving the Suburban, I can take those XL and those Plus, which in my market, that's huge because there's not a lot of people out there in a large vehicle. People ask me, oh, how is it profitable still? Well, you got to do the math. You got to figure out how much it costs to operate your vehicle per mile. And in that calculation, you got to figure out gas. You got to figure out wear and tear, any maintenance. I mean, I just had to have my brakes done, and I was so busy, I had to go take it to Les Schwab, which kills me because, was like $500 to get my brakes done. And that's ridiculous in my opinion. You can do it yourself. But that's one thing I had to factor in, is how long the vehicle is going to be down to do maintenance. I just had some other work done on it not too long ago, and I was without it for like 4 or 5 days, and that cut into my profits. Absolutely. So you got to figure out your fuel consumption, your maintenance, and your depreciation on your vehicle. Driving for rideshare puts a lot of miles and a lot of wear and tear on your vehicle. So you got to figure all that out and come up with a number, how much it costs to operate your vehicle per mile. And then you compare that to how much you're getting paid per mile. And you do the math on how much you're making per mile, how much you're earning per mile. And if you're okay with that number, whatever it is, then absolutely go do it. But you have to be vigilant on your cost of operation. That is what's key. Another key to whether or not it's profitable is look into your tax write-offs. I told myself from day one when I started doing this that I was going to be super religious about deducting everything I could. And I did my research, what I could deduct. And your biggest deduction for rideshare should always be mileage. Track your miles. Get an app and always have it on. Do not track your miles. That's going to be your biggest tax write-off at the end of the year. After that, if you buy food from out when you're driving, which you shouldn't because that's a huge cut into your profits, you should pack a lunch or pack a snack or something. But if you do happen to go out and get something to drink, track that as well. While you're driving, you can write off 50% of your meals. 50% of your food, whatever. If you get water even, you can write that off. All right. Track all your expenses, phone chargers, phone mounts. You also can write off a portion of your cell phone bill. If you have a home office set up at home, you can write off part of your rent or your mortgage. All that adds up in the end of the year. And everything you write off is that much less you have to pay to the IRS, which puts money back in your pocket. So that's a huge way to also make sure this is profitable. You have to constantly keep up on that. That's a never-ending thing with this business. And if you're not good with it, then get an app. I use QuickBooks Self-Employed. I think that is the best all-around app. It's a mileage tracker, it's an expense tracker, and it spits out a report whenever you want. You can just push a button and see your profits and losses and your mileage and how much your business has made. And if you do it right, you won't show a huge profit technically to the IRS, but your bank account, you'll notice it instantly. So that's a big key. And, you just have to always keep that in mind. That will affect your driving style in the long run. Don't be running and gunning it all the time. Accelerate lightly. That's constantly goes through my head, because every drop of gas you don't use, especially in a big vehicle like this, is just money back in your pocket. So you got to be smart about this business. You got to know all your ins and outs. Now, one thing I'm going to touch on profitability is customer appreciation, the customer experience, your client's experience. I've been trying to use clients more often, because because that's what they are, in my opinion. I kind of go above and beyond, and that will show in your earnings. That will show in your tips. That's a huge way to make another profit in this business, is tips. If you treat your customers, your clients, like royalty, it will show, it will pay off. And people, like, all the time, they have this sour note after a while. They're like, oh yeah, it's not worth it. Don't buy candy. Don't give them water. It never returns. You know what? I don't do candy. I'll be honest with you. I don't do candy. I don't think that's necessary. And it's all kind of goes back to that thing, your parents, don't take candy from strangers. I don't know. When I take Uber or Lyft, I don't eat the candy. So I don't put it out there either. But these little water bottles are amazing. And you know what? I buy a pack of these, a huge 24 pack of these, for $2. And then you throw on our 10 cents deposit here in Oregon. But, $2. I can make that back in one tip. If one person gives me a tip because they had a water bottle, I've already broken even, in my opinion. And then I have 30 or 23 more water bottles to go for the opportunity to get a tip. So absolutely, it is worth it to get water bottles. I primarily drive the bar crowd, the late night bar crowd, and having that water bottle there for them is, I get so many compliments on it. They're like, people are always saying, oh, I never see anyone do this anymore. And it's just a way to kind of go above and beyond to provide that, superior service to make your rider that much more happy. If they're that much more happy, they're going to enjoy it. People say, oh, don't do the aux cord no more. Well, I got an aux cord right here. Now, I typically have my aux cord plugged into my tablet, which I'm playing music on. And with the bar crowd, I pump up the jams. And that gives me great, people love that. They're ready to go out and party, and that gets them that more hyped up. And, like, they're going to think, wow, that was a great driver. $3 tip. That was a great driver. $5 tip. That adds up. That's a huge way to make extra income in this business, to utilize those tips. Another way, referrals. I went out and made myself these Lyft cards. They look just like the other ones, but I went out and custom made them. Has directions on how to download the app. It has my code again on the back. And referrals. You get paid money for referring new people to the platform. Now, I don't have them for Uber, because Uber is already very popular in my market. It is probably about 70% of my business is Uber, because a lot of people don't know Lyft is here, which is kind of almost silly in my opinion. I see more Lyft drivers in my market sometimes than Uber drivers. So I try to promote Lyft. And, people get excited because they get, a couple bucks off to get a free ride. And then they start using the platform, and, it creates more business for Lyft. It's a win-win situation there. So that's another way to make a profit, is to get those referral codes out. And you get paid money for it. So why not? I mean, I went and ordered these business cards from Staples, and they cost me $15. I get 2 referrals. I paid for the cards and then some. And I got 250 cards. That's 250 opportunities. That stacks up. So, it's you just have to be smart about how you do this, and you have to go out and hustle. You can't you're not going to get rich quick, and you're not going to make a lot of money at this. I mean, this isn't going to be, the internet boom or something. This is hard physical work. you know, you have to work hard at this to make it profitable. But if you do, I'm a strong believer is you get out of what, you know, you get out what you put into it. If you work hard, if you're out there driving, you know, making a difference, treating every rider with respect no matter what, it's gonna show off. You know, you're gonna see return on it. So that's my biggest advice. You know, I like to hear, you know, how the rates are in your market. Is it still profitable for you to go out and drive? What tips and tricks do you use to ensure that you're still making profits? You know, how are you cutting costs? You know, I really want to know how other drivers are doing out there. So please let me know in the comments below, you know, what you're doing, what's your opinion on all this. So if you like this video, please make sure and like and subscribe, hit that bell icon for future notifications. So, you know, let's make this happen. So until next time, this is Dakota with the Northwest Rideshare channel.